Happy Juneteenth, and welcome everybody back to another episode of Brunch with the Fellas, reviewing the latest trending topic news and entertainment. I'm Chef Earl the Pearl at DBCHEFTV. Always with me, Primo Grande, the one and only Cold Seasons. Peace, big cuz. How you feeling?
I'm all right, cuz. Just came from a Juneteenth celebration. A little hot and sweaty, but we here. We gonna make this thing happen.
That's what's up. I hope everybody was doing something cultural for Juneteenth, for the holiday. I actually went to a community where it was all white people at, and I just walked through the whole neighborhood, telling everybody through that little strip right there, telling everybody Happy Juneteenth.
Yeah,
So, that's what I did for Juneteenth. That was my cultural experience. But nah, I ain't do that, y'all. But you know, you feel like doing that in these days, these days. But yeah, y'all make sure y'all smash that like button and share the content. Also subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Brunch with the Fellas. We got a fantastic show of trends and topics tonight, y'all. There's so much stuff going on. And right before we get into that, real quick, y'all head on over to www.bksoulfarm.com. Pick up your copy of 10, 16, 160 Self-Sustainability by Ali Dawood at BK Soul Farm. Link is in the description. And also, y'all, don't forget to subscribe to DBCHEFTV on YouTube. Put your name in the hat to win our monthly giveaway of $100, and courtesy of that brother right there, Cold Seasons. Big Cuz gonna throw another 100 in there. So this Father's Day, we got 200 for y'all. So subscribe, because you never know how much we may be giving away. All right. We appreciate everybody for rocking with us, and we want to show love to y'all for that. And don't forget, we got merch, and follow us on all social media links. Everything is in the description. And like we always say, if money's tight, it's all right. What can they do? Because
they can smash that like.
Yes, indeed. So let's jump into these topics for tonight. First and number one, coming out the gate, we got opening day of the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago. We're going to go and check out that monumental piece of Black history on Juneteenth, right? It's only right we start out with something, Black made and beautiful, right? So we're going to go check out the former President Obama and his family and how they was looking good and doing what they do. Then number two, y'all, we got Southern rap legend Mystikal. I did what they said what they want to do. I did what they I protect them all. Y'all know about that? And man, I guess he did something that they said they weren't going to do or something like that. But he got sentenced to 20 years. We're going to go check out the story. Why Southern rap legend Mystikal is going to do a dub. All right. Then we got hip hop mogul Sean P. Diddy Combs, man, Puff Daddy, facing new SA allegations. It's just like it just doesn't stop when it comes to everything.
Won't stop.
Yeah, it just can't stop, won't stop. When it comes to Diddy, I don't know. But I'm sure that's not the way he wanted that to go. But we're going to go check out a story on him. Then we have a terrifying private jet crashing on a highway in Texas, y'all. Like, it was terrifying private jet plane crash. We're gonna go check out that story. And then last but not least, fifth and final tonight, we got the Supreme Court rules in favor of bud smoking and gun toting. So we're gonna find out what that means. All right. And then we got something real special for y'all. Y'all know how we do it. We got too many mimosas, right? So wait to see who we got, who's had too much to drink. We're gonna find out who's had too much to drink. So let's go ahead and jump into these topics.
And now please welcome former First Lady Michelle Obama, Malia and Sasha Obama, and our 44th President of the United States,
The truth is the girls don't pay much attention to, what is being said about me.
Maybe not back in 2012, but that's definitely changed. Check out Malia and Sasha Obama, all grown up and making a rare public appearance to support their dad Barack as he opens his new presidential center with a star-studded celebration on the south side of Chicago.
Our daughters were born right down the street. To Sasha and Malia, what can I say? You mean everything to me.
So what are the girls up to now? Nearly 10 years removed from the White House? Well, Sasha is a USC grad living in Los Angeles, and Malia, who's a Harvard alum, is in LA too, building a career in entertainment. She directed her first film, The Heart, which premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in 2024.
The challenge for us is letting us give them any help at all. They're very stubborn about it.
They're just kind, considerate, thoughtful, respectful kids. And I couldn't be prouder of them.
Thank you. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
Yeah, and it's Juneteenth, y'all. One time for that beautiful black family and what they represent for the people, and where we all aspire to be, having wives and families and things like that, Yeah,
it's good to see them all together and doing everything. I got a chance to watch a lot of the stuff from the opening of the presidential library, and it's pretty dope. And there's a whole lot of stuff going on up in there, man. It's almost like a big community center for Chicago. So it's great things going on there, and pretty much a lot of people think that they're gonna go up there and just walk up in there, but the tickets they kind of booked up. So
yeah, I would expect that they probably gonna be sold out for a while.
yeah, I think until like October, November, something like that. So
Yeah. And they offer, we encourage y'all. The link is in, I think, one of our previous episodes, the last episode we put, but we'll put the link in the description again for you all to go and check out the Barack Obama Presidential Center in Chicago. So you can be able to go get tickets if you want, and you can see more in depth of what they have there at the museum. And we have made jokes about it, man. They had everything, they had a library, they had a galley, they had a Mandela room, panoramic, views. I mean, they had so
basketball
much.
court, recording studio, garden.
Come on,
There's a whole lot, and it sits on 19 acres. So I mean, there's a lot going on there.
I would definitely call it a cultural center. It's definitely, he definitely made sure that it had that in it, that cultural aspect of it, where you could, even that, they even said it was some rooms and stuff that like a theater and all that stuff where you could,
Yeah.
So,
And the stars, they showed up for it too. Like yesterday, stars, a lot of stars showed up for it. You had 3 living presidents, including himself, that was there. So, and their wives. So I mean, it was something nice.
absolutely. So once again, shout out to the Barack family, the Obama family, and and we see you, brother. We see you doing what you're doing, man. We're gonna go ahead and jump into this next story. We got rapper, Southern rap legend Mystikal, sentenced to 20 years. It's crazy, y'all. Let's go check this out.
Young and successful, simple.
Where do you want to go? You see yourself 15, 20 years down the road. What
Top,
do you see?
sitting on top, fat.
Mystikal facing a much different future. The rapper, whose real name is Michael Tyler, sentenced to the max, 20 years in prison after pleading guilty to raping a woman in his Louisiana home in 2022.
Okay, let's start there. Let's start right there.
Pled guilty.
He pled guilty.
Yeah.
Why is he doing? Why you think? What you think is going on? You think he was in the military, he is a veteran, but I don't know. I'm a veteran, and I might have some of the similar diagnosis that this brother might have, but I don't know of a PTSD for RAPE. You know?
Nah, I definitely don't think there is one for that. You know, this ain't his first time around the block with that. You know, I mean, he was lucky to be a free man when he was to do that. You know, because he got locked up and did some years. You know, the first time.
The
So
first time, yeah, he did 6 years. He did a
yeah,
6-year stint. The
for the
first
same
time,
for the same thing.
same
So
type of crime. He was
right,
already a registered SA offender.
right.
Yeah,
So at this point, he's habitual. You know what I'm saying? You know,
right. And
and
that's
then
you
no,
think that's why they hit him with the dub.
yeah, definitely. And he pled guilty to it. You know, he probably could have had a longer sentence. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he pled guilty, and his lawyers probably, you know, told him to plead guilty because the evidence was probably so overwhelming that if you don't plead guilty, you can't get the deal.
You're probably gonna get life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let's finish this.
Mess around and get beside yourself. I know.
A judge delivering the 55-year-old's fate on Monday.
Damn, and he 55, and he just got hit with a dub. That's 75.
Yeah. So pretty much he'll spend the rest of his life in prison, pretty much.
After the victim reportedly appeared before the court to ask for the maximum sentence and to explain how Mystikal, quote, choked her and pulled her braids out of her hair amid the attack, which allegedly started over money. Mystikal replying, "If I did that to you, I deserve the max sentence." He won't be eligible for parole, but he will be granted time served.
Shake your ass, but watch yourself.
The rapper has been in jail since his 2022 arrest.
Was there some messages in that? Shake your ass, but watch yourself.
I'm not. I don't know. You know. Oh no, I'm not.
I think it was some hidden messages.
I don't think he would have been. I don't think
Watch
he would have.
yourself.
He would have. Show me what you're working with. I don't think he would have put no subliminals in there on himself. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know, because remember R. Kelly was seems like you're ready, you know, and then with his whole accusations and well, he's convicted now, you know, so it's just like, I don't know, maybe shake it, high pot, shake your ass and watch yourself though, might be like, because I might just, you know,
yeah,
go
but you know,
upside your head and take it. And that's
yeah, you know, and I mean, it wasn't no secret that he, you know, when he went to jail for the first time, and you know,
it's like how you like beating girls up. That's some different type of foreplay. You want to beat a chick up and, you know,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
come with the romance. Like, is that really?
yeah,
Is that
it's
what's
some
going on?
it's something sickening, but you know, that's like the second worst thing you can go to, you know, prison for. Inside once you're inside, you know, so it's I'm pretty sure he's gonna have a rough time in there for the next 20 years.
Damn, Mystikal, man. We just looking at big. I'm just looking at bruh mugshot, and I'm like, man, damn, this what it turned to. That whole rap career, man. I mean, hits with no limit. You know, tearing up the clubs, tearing up the club scene. I mean, he had so many hits.
Yeah, and I mean, and he still got hits that's gonna play, you know, around the world while he's in jail, you know, and gonna make money. He's not gonna get a dime off of it.
I mean, he got babies, so the
Yeah,
babies should,
yeah.
you know, reaping those benefits. You know, he should get some money put on his books. But I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, you know, because he still got a family, he's still alive, you know. But at the same time, I don't respect what he getting locked up for.
You can't. There's no way. You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
like, I don't respect that at all, man. It's just one of them things, man. But this is Mystikal.
Because of his violent history. In 2004, he became a lifelong registered sex offender and spent 6 years behind bars. When he was convicted of sexual battery after attacking his hairstylist, he faced another rape allegation in 2017. That charge was eventually dropped.
Keep it positive now. Keep it positive. It ain't over yet. It ain't over to the fat lady yet.
so he had an allegation in between all of that. So he went to jail for the joint, had another allegation in 2017, beat that one, and came back out and reoffended again. Yeah, Mystikal, Yeah, man. I mean, he could have got too many mimosas today, honestly.
He could have, but you know what? He could have been the one. You know what? And just for that, we're gonna have to give Mystikal. We're gonna have to do too many mimosas today. So just for that,
They've had way too much to drink. Cut them off.
yeah, that's for Mystikal. Mystikal, we just, we think you just had way too much to drink, man. Somebody should have been cut him off early.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he got the special mimosa. Shout out today.
Sad story.
Crazy.
Sad story, to go from hip hop, to go from, New Orleans, that's tough, and then go into the military, middle finger screaming, you know what I'm saying? If you don't believe me, check my combat patch. I'm like, man, if you was in the South, if you was anywhere and you was rocking with Mystikal, like, you already know, man, he had jams. So I don't get it. Man.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, one more time for Mystikal.
They've had way too much to drink. Cut them off.
Yeah,
cut
we
him
gotta
off.
cut him off, man. Too many mimosas for Mystikal.
Well, they definitely cut him off. They did. Yeah, they cut him off.
He got a dub. So yeah, it's just toilet wine for him.
Yikes.
Yes. So moving on to our third topic, another rapper, but more of a mogul though, hip hop mogul. Sean Diddy, Puff Daddy, facing new SA allegations. Let's go check out these.
So in this new lawsuit filed in the state of California, the former child actor claims Combs guided him into a back room during that networking event to speak to him privately about some potential opportunities, including a project Combs was producing. According to the lawsuit, after beginning to feel the effects of the drink offered to him by Combs, the minor said Combs began to touch him despite telling him that he didn't feel comfortable, adding, Combs pulled down his pants and began to touch his genitalia while Combs was touching himself. Now, the lawsuit doesn't specify the man's age at the time of the alleged incident, but only that he was under 18 years old at the time.
All right. Just hearing that, do you believe that? Do you believe we at you at an event, he grabs a young person. He already gave him some alcohol. He's saying he gave him some alcohol. So he was underage drinking. Took him back somewhere in a little room or something like that. And then he just started filling them up. Is that believable?
I don't want to say it's not, because Diddy, he never seems to surprise you sometimes. And I also don't want to. He
never seemed to surprise you.
Right. And I also
don't want to. But what he's been convicted of, does that seem like he's?
That don't seem like his MO. From everything, and then being at an event at that, what I'm saying. Now, if they say it was, Justin Bieber, then I might be like, yeah, that might have happened. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, it's a random child actor, former child actor, of course, because they're older now.
Right. So, and the parents done spent up all the money and everything. I'm not gonna get into all that.
You think so that's the flip side of the coin. It could be one of those things where it's like the child actor isn't a famous child actor.
Right.
Because that would mean that they still working today.
Right? Yeah.
And they still getting money. So now,
but
it may be a ploy to just get more money out of I think
it could be.
I think as we watched it, it could be extortion. Okay.
Yeah. Now, one thing about it that I think, Diddy pretty much had a come home date. Why?
Yeah, he will be coming home.
So why all this once there's a come home date? Why this didn't come out with everything else? Or even
it was a lot more. It was a lot more of them. That was it seemed like not even in this person's defense though, but it seems like there's a long line. Because think about how many of them were there. Like after Cassie got paid, It was just they just start coming out the blue.
Yeah, it's a revolving door, man.
You know, like it was like, oh, and then there's stories, and then it's like, oh, there's a little Rod, then there's all the people from Diddy came, and all the people from the band, and all the people from the this or whatever, you know. I haven't heard people coming out like that was early Bad Boy Camp with that type of stuff, you know.
Right.
I haven't heard that, you know, like the Locks. I haven't heard them never say nothing crazy.
Nah, I don't.
I haven't heard Faith Evans say nothing crazy.
Nah.
Mary J. I haven't heard she was with Puff like she. It wasn't like for her. That was like his first records that ever really got.
Lil Kim.
You know, I haven't heard Lil Kim or 112. You know, say nothing wild about him. Even Mace. You know, and I know Mace has a little. Somewhat of a disdain for Puff, but you know, I don't know the extent of it, but even he didn't, you know, even he hasn't said like, you know, come out like put these accusations or even said whether he believes the stuff or not, you know.
Yeah.
And
I'm not sold on it. I mean, I'm not sold on that whole thing, but you know, I don't want to discredit if it is real.
Right.
You know, but Diddy, you know, I do believe that even once this right here passed, like you said, is a long line, is a revolving door. Someone else is going to pop out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, Diddy, man. He's going to put a whole lot of money into his legal fight that continues to keep on going.
Definitely. Let's watch the rest of this real quick.
A spokesman for Combs responding tonight saying, quote, he's just another hater in a long list of people trying to get in on the money gravy train encouraged by personal injury lawyers. Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted anyone, and that includes any child. These allegations will be disproved like all the rest. Now, ABC News reporting tonight, the man also sued his former agents for not protecting him during the event by either arranging a chaperone or confirming his guardians would be there.
Yeah.
You know, so
sue your parents. Sue your parents, man.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, they honestly, he was underage for one, an underage actor. And then the parents, you know, they had to have some kind of say so with the agents and all that stuff for this kid to go out and do everything he wanted to do. So honestly, the parents should have been making sure that he was protected as well. You know what I'm saying? But children, to me, is not Diddy's MO. You know what I'm saying? Diddy's MO is, to me, grown women and men. You know what I'm saying? I just don't, it ain't passing the smell test to me. You know what I'm saying? But I do want it to play out. And if he found guilty, then, you know, he need to have the consequences handed down to him.
Yeah, that's fair, man. But it's amazing how since this trial, or since that thing happened with Cassie, like all we've heard is negative stuff about Puff, man. Like it hasn't been any room for nothing positive to radiate, you know. Like we do stories like with 50 Cent, you know, opening the program in the schools to be able to, the entrepreneurship program, even with him giving money back to from the Diddy documentary
to Shreveport.
Yeah, to the
Baton Rouge, one of them.
Yeah, one of those places, to domestic violence and victims of SA. You know, like, so even we see that type of work being done, but it's just like it's nothing. It just keeps piling on. Like the poop just keeps piling on. And it's like, dang, man. It's gonna be interesting to see though, like if any of that stuff sticks when he gets home, because he does, like they just say, he do got a come home date. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and jump on to our fourth topic tonight, y'all. We got a terrifying private jet crash on the Texas highway. We're gonna go check out that and see what's going on with that story. That was a wild one.
There's people in there. No sé.
That's wild right there. Cause what you doing if you in there?
Trying to get out.
Trying to get out.
Trying to get out. And it looks more like a crash landing, you know, because you can see people inside of there. So it looked like a crash landing. I mean, I'm already gonna take my
the cabin is upside down,
on the Jersey wall.
median.
Yeah, on the Jersey wall. I get it. I get it. But he tried to land it. He tried to land it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man, what?
Normally these things end up in automatic tragedy. I'm just impressed
And it's
already.
on fire.
Yeah, that's
it's
terrible.
on fire. You know, like that it could blow up at any second. I know
Yeah,
that's
that
got
jet
to
fuel. Yeah. Oh my
that's
goodness.
got to be going through their mind, man.
Yeah, you're terrified at that point. And then, you know, even if they can get you out and you not be burnt and still die from all the smoke that might fill the cabin.
Yeah, but I'm talking about even the rescue people, even the people that's going up there, like, you know, like if this thing blows.
Oh yeah, they in serious danger. Yeah, they'd be cooked.
So shout out to them, man. Let's watch the rest of this. Shout out to the people who didn't just film it.
Right.
You know.
I'm sorry.
A trail of fire and smoke along the Laredo Highway. A business jet seen split into two. Those trapped inside desperately beating against the windshield to escape the fire. The boarding doors would then fly open as passengers could be seen jumping out. Officers and passerbys using shovels and sledgehammers to try and break open windows. Eventually, they would reach in to grab two pilots. In total, 5 people will be rescued, including 3 teenagers, but one man wouldn't survive the crash. Austin CEO Joshua Baer.
At 9:55 p.m., they did call the Laredo Airport, and they communicated to them that they had mechanical issues. Then at approximately 10 p.m., that's when we started getting the calls that there was an aircraft crash.
Baer is one of 6 people on board a NetJet's flight from Los Cabos Airport in Mexico to Austin before the jet crashed on Loop 20 on Tuesday night, his death coming as a shock. Since 2009, he'd been the founder and CEO of the Austin-based Capital Factory, which describes itself as the venture firm at the center of Texas. The startup accelerator has backed more than 800 companies, including the likes of tech giants like Intuitive Machines, Apptronic, and Firefly Aerospace. Baer also had ties to the University of Texas, serving as an entrepreneur in residence, helping to teach a startup lab. His death drawing reactions across the state. Senators Ted Cruz and John Cornyn calling Baer a leader in entrepreneurship, while Representatives Lloyd Doggett and John Carter called the Austin CEO a friend that will be deeply missed.
Man, that's tough right there, man. Rest in peace to that brother, man, who lost his life. That was tragic. But at least they were able to get all the rest of them people up out of there, though. I couldn't imagine being up in there, man, like you said.
I'd like to know what went wrong. I'd like to know what went wrong. In a situation like that, I just want to know what went wrong.
Yeah, it would be nice to know, like once they check the plane and come back with all that stuff. We'll follow up on it, but for right now, rest in peace to that dude. And man, I know those other lucky people are just thankful to have their life. And it seems like that Texas lost a good person because he was doing a lot of things for
he started up 800 companies. Well, put the money in to get 800 companies started. So I mean, that's pretty dope.
I wonder, do those people have to pay him now that he's gone?
Yeah. This company still got to be paid. I'm pretty sure the company had a board, and they still got to be paid. That's why I said I want to know what happened, because a lot of times when you hear about these CEOs going away, it normally be in those type of events. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just wondering what happened.
Could it be some foul play?
Could it be some foul play? I didn't want to jump straight into the conspiracy theory.
I'm just saying that's what it's just brunch. We just having a conversation about it. We don't.
Right.
It's opinion. It's not. The fact is that he did pass, and we want to send condolences and love to the family and prayers with them, you know. And
That's right.
And we also just want to salute the people the rescue people, and the
First responders, absolutely.
You know, well, the civilians, because what they called them was passerbyers. Okay. So the first responders, that's their job, you know, and we thank them because they're supposed to be there. But me coming from search and rescue and responding and that capacity, like, you sign up for that. So that's what you're supposed to do. You want to go jump in the fire.
Well, I tell you, I got
like firefighters. All right. But that don't minimize it. We still appreciate them because everybody don't want to do it. All right. So we appreciate them, but that's their role and responsibility. We live in a culture right now where people will watch stuff happen and not do nothing,
right,
and just film it. So those people get a big kudos from Chef Earl Pearl, because sometimes you need, when you don't have the tools and resources, you need somebody riding through with a sledgehammer or a crowbar in a pickup truck that's willing to pull over and give you a hand, because maybe you don't have all the tools or things that you need or the manpower, because it's coming, but they still responding. Because first people on the scene assess the situation and then radio and tell what they need. But we talking about an emergency situation, a plane on fire, that fuel could just boom and blow up and kill everybody. Everybody trying to help and everybody trapped, you know. So it takes a level of bravery to risk your life to know that that I might die doing this.
Yeah.
You know, that is a very selfless act. First responders, we typically don't want to die, but that's what we signed up for. So if we died, that's just what it was. You know, you died in the line of duty. And that's what we value when we sign up for it. But people could just film and just be like, damn, look at what they doing. You know, and don't want to help out. So
I got a whole new confidence in airplane windows after I seen that guy hitting it with the sledgehammer. He almost broke the hammer.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they make
not the window, but the hammer. So I mean, airplanes are some pretty tough vehicles, you know, to travel in. So I mean, and when it comes to crashes and stuff like that, it's one of the safest modes of travel as well, compared to how many car crashes it is, you know, stuff like that. So
yeah, I'm gonna stick with a car though. I'm gonna stick with a vehicle though. I take my chances with a crash than a plane falling out the sky. Even though,
right.
even though I'm sure the windshield is a lot stronger on the airplane than it is on a Lexus,
but it hits the ground a lot harder.
Yeah, but
you know, so
man, definitely. But shout out to all those people that did help out, man. That was a tragic, but it was good to see people come together and help out each other. Very selfless.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. We got our fifth story for tonight. Supreme Court rules in favor of bud smoking and gun toting, because there have been some issues surrounding all of the new legal legislation that has been going into act, that has been enacted and is being passed and reviewed with the medical cannabis, and just in states where there is recreational usage of cannabis. So we're gonna check out this story right here, because I know that there's a big concern prior to, I believe, probably even this story right here, and to the decriminalization or the descheduling of marijuana from class 1 on the federal level to class 3, which is like the equivalent of like Tylenol and stuff like that, stuff over OTC, things that we can go into Walgreens, Rite Aid, CVS, you know, or Dwayne Reed, wherever your local pharmacy is, and get stuff. You could not possess a license for medical cannabis and fill out an application to own a firearm.
Right.
They ask you on it. So if you have one, you'd be denied from owning or purchasing a firearm. So this right here, along with that declassification, seems to be like, you know, these things are just, these are the normal steps that are being followed. So that way all of the rules can line up with each other, to where if you do have medical, or if it is recreational in the state, you still want people to be able to protect themselves.
Right. And that's why a lot of people didn't get medical cards, because of that same situation.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So let's check out this story and see what we got new.
Welcome back. The Supreme Court now says it's not a crime for regular marijuana users to own guns. It's one of several Second Amendment cases before the court this session. And Washington correspondent Gabrielle Caracciolo breaks down the unanimous ruling.
In this case, a Texas gun owner faced criminal gun charges after admitting he regularly used marijuana. All 9 Supreme Court justices agreed that violated his Second Amendment rights.
Overall, I think it's a good result.
The federal law at issue was meant to keep guns away from dangerous people. It makes it a crime for someone who is an unlawful user of or is addicted to any controlled substance to possess a firearm. Until now, that included regular marijuana users.
There was no.
And see, that was a key right there. They said unlawful, right? So the key is understanding that if now it's decriminalized or it's legal completely, or you have a medical card, that's not unlawful. That is within the parameters of the law, of what is allowed, what is legal. So this is why these things have to change, so that way they can line up, because it's no longer that where it's illegal or not within the parameters of the law.
Correct.
Element of having to prove that this person was dangerous, that they were under the influence of the substance while using a firearm or around firearms.
Adam Kraut is the executive director of the Second Amendment Foundation.
If somebody is a medical marijuana card holder and uses medical marijuana, that the government can't just simply say you're prohibited from being able to defend your family and yourself.
The court's ruling rejected the claim that anyone who uses marijuana is a danger to others, but acknowledged that, quote, drugs and guns can sometimes make for a dangerous mix. Gun control groups are pointing out how narrow the ruling is.
The Supreme Court justices took a fair amount of pains to talk about marijuana as separate and apart from other drugs.
Chris Brown is the president of Brady United Against Gun Violence. She's okay with the decision.
There's no expansion that we see here of rights for those who are potentially dangerous.
The narrow ruling did not address the legality of prosecuting drug addicts for possessing a gun. At the Supreme Court, Gabrielle Caracciolo, News Nation, Washington.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with it. I agree with that decision. I like it. And a lot of these cannabis shops in certain states and certain places, you can't go in and get nothing without a card. So if you want to, buy new weapons, you're going to keep on getting it off the street.
What you mean? Say that again. If you want to buy new weapons?
Yeah. So in the past, the way it used to be that if you had the marijuana card, you couldn't go to the gun store.
So if you were a cannabis patient, then you would be forced to look at illicit ways to be able to get possession of a firearm, versus being able to be a legal gun owner and go to the store and put your name on it and do it the right way.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do totally 100% agree with that. I hated that rule that you couldn't, that having a cannabis card would disqualify you from, I hated that rule. I actually know someone that they went and got their card, and they were like, "Hey man, I'm about to go get this," and he showed me, the piece that he wanted to go get. And I was like, "Hey man, I don't think you can go get that." He was like, "Why not?" I was like, "Because you went and got that cannabis card." He said, "Oh, that don't matter." He went to go try to go get it, and he couldn't get it.
It's on the application.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, even though they have these things now where like it's no weight and all of this other stuff, they've streamlined the process in certain states, where the age requirement is lower. They've reduced some of the concealed carry stuff, even though there are still rules that apply, like like it may be no limit on your concealed carry, but there's still places where you can't go unless it's authorized.
Oh yeah, and it's gonna be limits on the owning the gun too. You're not gonna be if you get caught, using your firearm under the influence, then you're gonna have a problem.
Yeah,
so
that's
I mean,
anywhere.
yeah. So I mean, there's still rules to it. You just
That's
gotta
anywhere. Yeah.
gotta follow the rules. But I think the average cannabis person, that smoke cannabis, they ain't out here wilding like that. If anything, they need it to be chill. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know.
it's
I ain't gonna 100%. Maybe over a certain age, I'm
Yeah.
gonna rock with you, but I don't know. I don't know about these jits, man. Because they doing everything. They doing everything and anything, and
Well, at that point, the cannabis price
who
is
knows what the turnout.
probably on the lowest point, because they want all kind of other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that is.
You talking about like ain't nobody never wanted to smoke a joint and say, let's smoke this joint and then go do some crime, right?
Yeah, they was going to go do the crime either way.
Okay.
And then, you know what I'm saying? They was going to go
Okay.
do the crime either way. And actually, the crime might have was to go get some cannabis.
The crime was to go get the cannabis.
Yeah.
Well, a horrible crime. Horrible, what a horrible crime. But yeah, y'all, man. Stay educated, especially if you out here smoking. It is good to know the laws and things like that around what you're doing. That's how you smoke responsibly, or get high responsibly. Like, don't be out here just willy-nilly with it. Like Cold Season was saying, the guy had his medical card and thought like, oh yeah, I could go do this, and then he messed around and found out, right?
Right. And then if you're in a state where you can grow, take advantage of that. Take advantage of it. Have some fun, get your green thumb. It turn brown sometime, but it's a learning curve, so it's
Yeah, and grow you some vegetables too. Because
that's right. And
don't
what book they need to get?
Yeah, just don't think about getting high. You know what I'm saying? Think about getting by with these food prices going higher. Okay.
Yes, that's right.
Definitely. But the link is in the description for the book. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into tonight's too many mimosas, y'all. Like we got a wow one tonight. So let's go ahead and jump into this.
Mimosas, presented to you by DBCHEFTV.
Okay, so if y'all been under a rock somewhere, I don't know, the Young Dolph murder trial was, all over the internet, and there was a conspirator within it by the name of Hernandez Govan, a brother they call Orange Man Quet, and he was implicated in the whole conspiracy, and he beat the charge. The other two, Justin Johnson and I can't think of the Cornell Smith or something like that. They call him Lil Draco or something in the streets. I don't know. And Straight Drop. They were the two people who unalived Young Dolph. All right, but the Smith guy, the guy who basically told on everything, he implicated Hernandez Govan as, that's who we got all our information from through Big Jook, who's Yo Gotti's deceased brother. So after this brother beat that case, you know, he pretty much had a open path to the internet, to be able to go on the internet. And now, you know, people wanted to interview him. Now he could mix and mingle, associate himself in all these settings, you know, and find a lane to be able to elevate himself on these, you know, as a blogger, as a podcaster, as somebody who gets interviewed, you know, whatever he decided to do on a to kind of take a negative and turn it into a positive. So, you know, what we see in him is, you know, now being arrested by the feds. And we're gonna get into the story, but that's some of the backstory, you know. But it's just like we keep seeing stuff like this from Memphis. We don't see it from everybody, but we seeing like with big name stuff like Pooh Shiesty, first day out the feds, not even out 90 days, first day back in the feds, you know.
Grand opening, grand closing.
Right. And so, you know, this is an older guy, older cat. And it's seeming like, you know, he's not getting the picture. So we're gonna check on and see why the feds got him. Man.
In other news tonight, Hernandez Govan, the man acquitted of being the mastermind behind the murder of Memphis rapper Young Dolph, sits in a federal lockup tonight, charged with cyber stalking. His attorney talked exclusively with Action News 5 Joyce Peterson tonight about new charges. And Joyce is now live for us. Joyce, does he think the feds went after him because he beat the rap in the Young Dolph case?
Well, that's certainly a question many are asking tonight, Andrew. Attorney Claiborne Ferguson stopped short of saying that Govan's latest legal troubles are payback for the Shelby County DA's office losing its case against him in the Young Dolph murder trial. But he said it is, quote, highly suspicious.
Do you think he was the mastermind of Young Dolph's murder?
Claiborne Ferguson is Hernandez Govan's new attorney for the new cyber stalking charges he faces. Arrested June 11th by Memphis police on state stalking and harassment charges, a misdemeanor, Govan was released the next day on a $4,000 bond. 12 hours later, he was arrested by federal authorities on the same charges, which carry a 5-year prison sentence in the federal system.
That is wildly unusual, especially on something that it would be charged and is charged as a misdemeanor in state court. Somebody had to really go out of their way in order to get that done.
Govan was acquitted of murder charges last year in the shooting death of Young Dolph, accused by prosecutors of being the mastermind behind the crime. Telling Action News 5,
it's hard to explain the feeling of knowing you got your life back. And it's one of the best feelings I ever experienced, and I'm just happy to be free.
Govan isn't free anymore after a federal magistrate ordered him held in custody, believing him to be a real danger to his ex-girlfriend, who had Memphis police and the National Guard protecting her home and her child. The feds say he threatened to shoot up her home because she owed him $540, calling and texting saying, "The National Guard can watch your house all day. I don't give an expletive about no police, National Guard, or nothing." The criminal complaint said Govan also threatened to post explicit photos of her on social media. All the threats made on the same day.
One of the things that we were looking at in the bond hearing was whether or not alcohol was involved, and that as the day went on, he lost more control over his decision making.
Ferguson's focus now, helping his client beat these charges, just like Govan did in the Young Dolph case.
Crazy. He said, you know, he was just happy that he had his freedom. It don't seem like it. It don't seem like it. That don't seem like somebody that's happy that they got their freedom, because $540 ain't nothing to, you know, to be. Now, there was some backstory, but it still don't justify to say that. I think I got this from Poetic Flacco. Shout out to Poetic Flacco. Y'all go check out his channel. Believe Poetic Flacco said that the young lady was supposed to book him a rental car. That's what the 540 was for. And because he had an interview to go do. But he didn't go do the interview. Something happened where he couldn't get the car, so he missed the interview. When he missed the interview, that's when he got pissed off at her. And that's what the whole, you know, $500 ain't this or ain't that or whatever. You know, he got more receipts over there. You gotta check out Poetic Flacco. He got more receipts of it. But just looking at it from a big picture, like, I don't even care about that intimate detail. If you just beat a murder charge and you really like, I got my life back, you know, and then you looking at the opportunities that you have. Because I mean, like, person like him, you know, we get on here and we do this, and it's difficult to get people to share the channel, to like the channel, to come and check the content, different things like that. You have to work at it. He got an open lane, you know, like they just gave him the lane for the layup. But yeah, he's still out here fumbling the ball. And over something stupid. Like, as a 46-year-old man, why do you not have a credit card? So that way you can go and rent your own vehicle. Like, why you ain't in shop with your own business? You know, like, that's the business of you too. So it ain't like you was getting a rental car for somebody else. You was trying to get a rental car for you to go get that money. You know? So I just see it like, you know, the brother really not appreciating his freedom, you know, and people be still trying to be lazy with it instead of having handlebars on it themselves. Because if you got handlebars on it yourself, then you know what, you could book your own stuff. You want to have your own credit card. Like, unless you married and that's your wife and y'all are, or whatever the relationship look like, it's a partnership or whatever. And that's your business partner because they handling that aspect of it, you know, then yeah, I could, but I still don't dig all the threats and all the foolishness, because if the person is serious who you got that's handling your business for you, then they're gonna make sure you got that car, because they getting that 5,000 comes back to the house. So that 5,000 ain't just, oh, that's your 5,000. That's our 5,000. That's for us. You know, that's for the building. That's for the team. Right. So, you know, I think he need to move better, man. If he, you know, they're saying it's light charges, you know, maybe a year, whatever. But I'm just like, why you even want to be back in some situations or some shit like this anyway? You know, dude, you know, is this his moves where he think like catching these little stupid fluke charges like this gonna keep him hot on the internet?
No. Well, I think he failed at critical thinking when he knew that the National Guard, which I don't even know how she got the National Guard to protect her, but he knew that the National Guard was protecting her. He knew that the police was protecting her. And he texted her, letting her know that I know that they protecting you and I don't give a damn. So at what point do you think you can say that to her and they're not going to see it? So now you actually a threat to law enforcement, and you're actually a threat to the National Guards, to federal enforcement, shall I say, as well. It ain't federal enforcement. But you know what I'm saying.
Paper. But not for real, yeah. But not in real life, though.
But see, but they take those. They will take those threats seriously. You know,
yeah, of course. Yeah, but
you know. So,
but you know, what happens, right? Every time somebody make a threat, if they don't get to, even if they fake carry it out, they get pressed out. Yeah, and that's what's happening with him now. He getting pressed out now, and I'm just like.
But he was foolish to even text her that,
right,
knowing
like,
that, you know,
talk like that.
I tell you what, you know, if you're in a situation and you know, and it's a domestic type situation, and the person be like, "I'm gonna call the police on you," you need to cut tail and run, and really don't look back on that. As far as getting the police called on you. And dealing with domestic situations, because when they come and show up, they're going to show up, and you're going to F around and find out. You know what I mean? So I just think it was a bad move. You know that the police is there. You know that the National Guard is there, and you still send these dumbass text messages. It's crazy. Over 550 or 500, however much it was.
550, over
Over
550.
550. You know, come on, man. You got the press in the play where you could have went and made 5,000 on a sit down interview with Vlad. You see what I'm saying? You could have.
I don't know. I don't know who the interview was for. Maybe he missed a $5,000 interview with Vlad. But what I'm saying is regardless, even on that note, because like, have your business in order, family. You know, if I want to go somewhere, I don't have to get nobody else to book nothing for me. Okay.
Yeah.
Sit down online. I can book a flight. I can book a train. I can book a plane. I can order a vehicle. Okay. I can get a car. I can get a Turo. I can get an Uber. I can get it. Well, I can't get an Uber. My wife get the Ubers, but you know what I'm saying? But I can go get a rental car. I can, you know, so if I need to get somewhere, I don't have to depend on nobody else to get there, you know. And if the money calling, then, you know, he's not handling his business correctly. If now he going to jail, you know, and he going to the feds over a missed opportunity for a YouTube interview, for a podcast interview, that you get so upset that you threatening the girl and like you talking about all the wild stuff, to where they're gonna come get you. Like they're gonna come see about if you really about all that tough talk.
So is it a situation where she didn't get the car and then she kept the money? Because that's what it seemed like.
No, because what Poetic Flock was saying was like, she told him he could get the money back. Like she didn't use the money at all. She just,
what's the issue?
She just dropped the ball on getting the car. That's what.
That's not. I mean, that's really not. You know, that's his problem.
Because he was like, you can keep that little funky money, whatever. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna do this. They got him locked up, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, if you got your business in order, then you don't got to get to all that. And that's why I made that point. Like, if you don't got your,
but the whole argument's stupid if he can get the money back. I mean, I know he's saying you messed up an opportunity for me type.
It's
shit.
stupid though, because and that's stupid because like she didn't mess up no opportunity for him. He messed up an opportunity for himself because he's not a better steward of his business. He's not respecting the fact that that some people got to go and work for a whole month to bring home $5,000. Some people got to go, you know, some people don't even make $5,000 in a month. Some people, you know, have to struggle to get that. And all he has to do is an interview.
Yeah.
You know, like you got easy money, family, and you messing it up because you stupid. You know, you being stupid. That's what this looked like, you know, and you want to talk tough to a girl who was helping you. That don't sound gangster to me, you know. That's all I'm saying. That don't sound gangster to me. That sound like you stupid, like you on some foolishness, you know, and you ain't really about your paper. So I'm like, if I could share anything with you,
and he don't have a credit card.
Yeah, and you don't got no credit card, bro. Like,
it's crazy.
That's not gangster to me, not having no credit card or not having your money in order, you know, to be able to go and move around. You know, people be talking that tough talk, like, you know, I'm a gangster, I move and go where I want to go and I know how to move and do this, but you ain't even got a credit card though, family. Like,
and he probably don't have a car neither. That's the other part. Probably don't have a car.
Like you can't even really go where you want to go without somebody having to help you get there, you know? So for that,
they've had way too much to drink, cut them off.
Yikes.
Yeah, for Hernandez Govan, you know, we gonna say that you've had too many mimosas, family. One more time.
They've had way too much to drink, cut them off.
Yeah, I'm gonna drink to that.
Yeah.
But it's crazy though. We probably see him back online once he get through this.
Oh yeah, he'll be back. He ain't gonna get too much too much trouble for that.
Yeah, but get your business in order though, big dog, because we're not looking like big dog over something like this stuff, you know, for real. So tonight, y'all, make sure to smash that like button if you're still rocking with us, and also share the content, y'all. We had the opening day of the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago. Since it's Juneteenth, what a way to start Juneteenth. You know, what a way what a way to start Juneteenth. What a way to celebrate Juneteenth. At the Obama Presidential Center. The link will be in the description for everybody to check that out. We had Southern rap legend Mystikal sentenced to 20 years, sentenced to a whole dub. And it seems like he's had a history of SA. So you know what, man, we you know, I mean, he's going to prison, man, but maybe he can be delivered from his sickness, because it seemed like dude just been on this his whole life, man. You know, at least for a significant amount of time. He just, and then he 55. So 55 times 20, I mean plus 20, man. 75, what are you gonna do when he get out at 75? If he make that, if he, you know.
Right. Then he want to beat you up and then smash you. Crazy.
That's wild. So third, we had hip hop mogul Sean P. Diddy Combs facing new SA allegations, man. You know, the P. Diddy saga continues. So we will see how that unfolds as the Diddy story continues. Fourth tonight, y'all, we had a terrifying private jet crash on the Texas highway. And like we said, prayers to the gentleman that passed, and to his family, to the gentleman that passed away. And salute to all of those who pitched in to help get those survivors about that burning plane. It took real bravery and some heroics, and yeah, private jet crashing on the highway. I could imagine if I was driving and I would have seen that thing happening. That would have been the wildest thing ever.
Yeah.
And then fifth and final, last but never least, y'all, we had the Supreme Court rules in favor of bud smoking and gun toting. So if you're a medical card holder, if your state is a legal state, and if I believe your state has decriminalization of possession rules and things like that, it looks like federally coming down the pipe, you know, as long as everything is within the parameters of the law, you can still, you know, toke up and make sure that you got your defenses together to protect yourself and your family if you need to. Yep, so that's all we've got on this episode of Brunch with the Fellas. We want to thank everybody for pulling up. Y'all make sure to smash that like button. And we want everybody to have a happy Juneteenth. This will a happy Father's Day too. Happy Father's Day, Big Cuz. I know it's coming up.
Thank you, Cuz. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're gonna have a giveaway, y'all. Cigar Sundays, 8 p.m. Sunday, East Coast time. Y'all make sure to check in with us. We're gonna be giving away. We're gonna be announcing our winner of $200 for this month's giveaway, DBCHEFTV, and we hope to see y'all there. Also, we want everybody to have a peaceful, positive, and productive rest of your week, because man, it's the summertime. It's a fun time. Stay hydrated, stay motivated, and yeah, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Brunch with the Fellas. I'm Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV.
And I'm Cole Caesar on DBCHEFTV.
And we are the Brunch Fellas. Until next time, peace, Big Cuz.
This whole publication is all about going from nowhere to somewhere, right? Being able to stand on something so that you can travel in peace, right? So bksoulfarm.com, 1016-160 self-sustainability. Jump on the list and get yourself together, right? Because it is irresponsible to not even know what responsibility means. So get yourself together, food, clothing, and shelter, protection of that, support your interests, and live.
Love ain't always easy, and we won't stop until we get it right. So bring that ass to the Love Speak podcast. Subscribe today and let your love speak at TLS Podcast. The Love Speak, now streaming on YouTube. You are the key to your financial freedom. So unlock your inner wealth with financial fundamentals at Bows on the Table. Subscribe today and never miss a meal at Bows Podcast. Bows on the Table, now streaming on YouTube. At the Veteran Kettle Podcast, we thank you for your service, support, and sacrifice to our country. Listen to real stories of adversity and triumph as we give our best to honor our vets. Subscribe today and watch episodes now streaming on YouTube at TVK Podcast, The Veteran Kettle. Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at DBCHEFTV.com.